Let's look at some nice counter-attacking from newaza situations and also counter-attacking against sutemiwaza. We'll start off with Julia Figueroa. She has an extremely strong belt grip here, but she loses the hand fight against Funa Tonaki. And when she turns Funa, she turns her right on top of herself. And that really strong belt grip she had, she's still got it, but her hand is stuck. You'll notice that when this Osai Komi count is finished. So Julia is a pretty good judoka. She has wins over world champion Natsumi Tsunoda and silver medalist Wakana Koga. So next we'll look at Funa against an even stronger judoka. This is Ami Kondo of Japan. She has some pretty impressive newaza skills, as you can see here. She's established Osai Komi. Her opponent escapes. So she's already pulled off one turnover. Now we're going to see her nice guard passing to set up jujigatame pin. So Kondo was the 2014 world champion. Funa won the world championships in 2017. And in 2019 they would meet, with Ami Kondo really needing a big win in order to have any chance of making the Tokyo Olympic squad for Japan. So at this time in the match, we're about 4.5 minutes into the golden score period. Each judoka is on 2 shidos, so they must be very aggressive at all times in order to keep their dreams alive. We'll have a look at this one in slow motion because it's typical Funa Tonaki cat-like quickness. So first, she's able to remove the left hand post, and then she places her left foot on the mat, and in 2 small jumps is able to clear herself as Kondo tries to turn her over. So she knocks the arm down. Now let's look at Funa Tonaki's left leg. 2 small jumps, rotating her legs, knocking Kondo's legs to the ground, but Kondo did a good job and was able to stall this one out. But unfortunately for Kondo, about 30 seconds later in this match, Kondo ended up being disqualified for passivity, and things got worse for Kondo in the bronze medal match when she got thrown by an uchimata directly onto her head against high school student Wakana Koga. So this ended up being the final tournament in the career of Ami Kondo, who retired last year. And Wakana Koga graduated high school, went on to win silver at this year's World Championships. It's likely she'll battle it out with Funa and Natsumi Tsunoda for the 2024 Paris Olympic spot. So in this one we're going to see a sumigaeshi counter. So attempted sumigaeshi by the French judoka, and Funa moves directly into guard passing mode, passing with a cross knee, and she does a great job pinning here. She's very mobile with her legs. She's constantly adjusting her legs depending on her opponent's movements. And although her opponent puts in a really valiant effort to get out from the bottom, she's unable to escape the Funa Tonaki sumigaeshi. Next we have Ai Shishime versus Karolina Pienkowska. If you've seen one of the matches on my channel, you'll know that Karolina has a pretty strong armbar. And Carolina's already attempted one sumigaeshi. When she attempts the second, Ai Shishime is ready for her, moves into an over-under guard pass. Pienkowska turtles, but wonderful turning attack by Ai Shishime. If you've seen my Super Rolling Thunder video, you'll be familiar with this attack. I'll put a link to that video in the description. And Pienkowska does a good job trying to fight the leg, but Ai Shishime just raises the arm a little to put pressure on Pienkowska's elbow, forcing her to release the grip. And another very tight Ai Shishime pin. Now we're going to see a situation where there's a failed tomoenage, but the bottom player is the one that's able to counterattack with newaza. Masako Doi in the blue judo gi goes for a tomoenage without a grip on her right hand, but she's able to spring up and get a hold of her opponent's belt, force this newaza situation. She loves to isolate her opponent's arm. Like you see here, the arm is trapped between her leg and body. And once she gets that arm isolated, you usually don't see her opponents being able to use their arm. She's tied that arm off with her belt. Now she's able to use her free hand to help her get through the guard. Now she's trying to stop her opponent from returtling. She has a very incremental pinning game. Sometimes 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but she usually progresses forward and gets the pins and gets the wins. And in a moment we'll have a look at her defeating the 2016 Olympic champion Tina from Slovenia. So here's Tina in the white judo gi. Both players are on 2 shidos. We're well into the golden score period. Both players being very aggressive. Tina forced newaza, but it was a big mistake for Tina. She's now facing a very similar situation to one we just looked at. Doi getting a hold of the belt and the judo gi around the bicep of Tina. Now she's got that arm isolated. This time she grabs a handful of clothing around the crotch of Tina and moves into a jujigatame. In a moment we'll look at it again and look at how she was able to counter Tina's newaza. So Tina gets her body behind the elbow of Masako Doi, but Doi has control of Tina's right sleeve and is using both of her hands to push against the sleeve. As Tina steps with her right leg, her body elevates, so there's space for Doi to escape her arm, and she's able to push Tina's face into the mat. And because Doi still has control of Tina's sleeve, Doi's able to just stand up. Now she's looking to establish a strong grip on the right arm of Tina. Let's look at how she was able to secure Tina's arm. She pulled the bottom of Tina's judo gi and she didn't rush. She took her time, and when she had the opportunity, she passed it to her own right hand. And now Tina's arm is fully secured. You'll see when she moves to the north-south position just how secure that arm control is. Soon we'll see Masako Doi countering Miku Tashiro's newaza. But first, let's look at what Miku Tashiro can do to Tina. So we saw some wonderful ashiwaza to lead to this newaza situation. Miku looking for the armbar. She's got hold of the fingers of Tina. She's looking to extend that arm. Tina using a hitchhiker escape, but Miku Tashiro is able to transition to a belly down jujigatame for the submission. So Miku actually has 10 wins over Tina. Now let's look at Miku Tashiro versus Masako Doi. Miku Tashiro is wearing the red belt, and we're going to see her push off Masako Doi's right hand. It'll enable her to force newaza. She looks to move into similar attack we saw from Ai Shishime, but Doi with a wonderful counter. We're going to need to see this in slow motion. Doi extending her left leg backwards, raising her hips, and rolling. Tashiro responded well. She had to release her grip and was able to get onto her hands to a quad pod, restanding quickly. Miku wanted to roll Doi over her right shoulder, but it looks like Doi was able to roll either directly over her head or over her left shoulder. Miku doing an excellent job getting back to her feet, and was in a position where she could have continued with some attacking judo if they had not gone out of bounds. So this match continued, and it would go on to be the biggest victory in Doi's career at this point in time. This is the Kodokan Cup final. Kodokan Cup is the most important tournament on the domestic scene for Japan. So she defeated Tashiro by countering her kosotogari. Then they would meet again in 2019 with Doi winning with tomoenage. Again, it was in the golden score period. The only women's judo category that Japan failed to win medals in at the last Olympics and World Championships was at 63 kilos. We might see Masako Doi called up for action one more time. Subscribe for more non-stop newaza, more Funa Tonaki, more Masako Doi, more Miku Tashiro coming soon. And I won't forget to have some more Ai Shishime.